the third moon of the year 132 AC, Corlys Velaryon, Lord of the Tides, collapsed while ascending the serpentine steps in the Red Keep of King's Landing. He was 79 years of age, a ripe age for a man who had seen so much adventure and war in his long life. He had served 4 kings and a queen, sailed to the ends of the earth, and raised House Velaryon to unprecedented levels of wealth and power, higher than the infamous Lannisters of Castle Rock. Through his marriage to Princess Rhaenys Targaryen, a woman who could have been a queen, he fathered dragon riders in Laena and Laenor Velaryon. He used his new wealth to build towns and fleets. The old sea snake had proved his valor in times of war and wisdom in times of peace. His death was a huge loss for the Seven Kingdoms. They would never see a man of his like again, and House Velaryon would never soar so high, slowly fading into irrelevance in the centuries that would follow the Dance of the Dragons. With his passing, a great hole was torn in the tattered fabric of the Seven Kingdoms, during a time a man such as Corlys Velaryon was needed the most. Due to all he had given in his life in service of the realm and the young King Aegon III's favour, the late old sea snake, Lord Corlys Velaryon, was given the honour of laying in state beneath the Iron Throne for 7 days. Afterwards, his remains were carried back to Driftmark, aboard the Mermaid's Kiss, captained by Miranda of Hull, his rumoured lover of old, with her son, Alyn. The battered and rotting hull of the ancient ship, the Sea Snake, was floated once again for the final time and towed out into the deep waters east of Dragonstone. It was there where Corlys Velaryon was buried at sea, aboard the very ship that had given him his name. It was said that afterwards, as the hull went down, the wild dragon cannibal swept overhead, his great black wings spread in a last salute. A moving touch, but most likely a later embellishment, and as little proof the dragon was there. From all we know of Cannibal, he would have been more apt to have eaten the corpse, rather than salute it. The base-born Alyn of Hull, now Alyn Velaryon, had been the Sea Snake's chosen heir, but his succession was not uncontested. This was expected, given the rumours of his parentage, some believing he was Laenor Velaryon's bastard, others that he was in fact the bastard of the Sea Snake. It will be recalled that in the time of King Viserys, now long ago, a nephew of Lord Corlys, Sir Vaemon Velaryon, had put himself forward as the true heir to Driftmark. This act of rebellion cost him his head, but he left a wife and sons behind him. Sir Vaemon had been the son of the elder of the Sea Snake's brothers. 5 other nephews, sired by another brother, had claims as well. When they took their case before the sick and failing Viserys, they made the grievous mistake of questioning the legitimacy of his daughter's children. Viserys had their tongues removed for this insolence, though he let them keep their hands. 3 of the Silent 5 had died during the Dance of Dragons, fighting for Aegon II against Rhaenyra, but 2 did survive, and together with Sir Vaemon's sons, all came forward now, insisting that they had more right to Driftmark than this bastard of Hull, whose father was not even certain to begin with. Sir Vaemon's sons, Damien and Daeron, took their claims to the Regency Council in King's Landing, where the Hand of the King, Tywin Lannister, and the regents ruled against them. They wisely chose to accept the decision and be reconciled with Lord Arryn, who rewarded them with lands on Driftmark on the condition that they contribute ships to his fleet. Their silent cousins chose a different course. Lacking tongues with which to make their appeal, they preferred to argue with swords. However, the plot to murder their young lord went awry when the guards at Castle Driftmark proved loyal to the Sea Snake's memory and his chosen heir. Sir Maltin was slain during the attempt, his brother captured, both condemned to death. So Rogar saved his head by taking the Black and joining the Night's Watch. Alyn Velaryon, the bastard born of Mouse, was formally installed as Lord of the Tides and Master of Driftmark, whereupon he set out for King's Landing to claim the Sea Snake's place among the regents. Even as a boy, Lord Alyn never lacked for boldness. Hand thanked him and sent him home, understandably, as Alyn Velaryon was but 16 in 132 AC. Lord Corlys' seat upon the Council of Regents had been offered to the older and more seasoned man, Unwin Peake, Lord of Starpike, Lord of Dunsterbury, Lord of Whitegrove. Sir Tywin Lannister, the Hand of the King, had far more pressing concerns in 132 AC than the infighting of House Velaryon, leaving the young Lord Alyn to deal with the situation as he saw fit. The Hand's focus was rather on the matter of succession of the Iron Throne. Whilst Lord Corlys Velaryon had been old and frail, his very sudden death had nevertheless served as a grim reminder that any man could die at any time, even seemingly healthy young kings like Aegon III, for all anyone could predict. War, illness, accidents, there were so many ways to die, and if the king should perish, who would then follow him? There were so few Targaryens left, who would be in the line to succeed him? If he died without an heir, we shall dance again. However much we may mislike the music, Lord Manfred Mouton warned his fellow regents. Queen Jaehaera's claim was as strong as the king's, and stronger in the minds of some, given her father was the firstborn son of King Viserys, but the notion of placing that sweet, simple, frightened child on the Iron Throne was madness. All agreed she was not the right fit to be queen, and pushing that power on her would only cause the fragile girl more harm. King Aegon himself, when asked, put forward his cupbearer, Gaemon Powhair, reminding the regent that the boy had been a king before during the Moon of Madness. It was also pointed out by many that there was a strong possibility that Powhair was the bastard son of Aegon II, meaning he did have the blood of the dragon, but the council viewed the prospect of putting a bastard on the Iron Throne as impossible as well. In truth, there were only two real claimants the realm would be likely to accept: the king's half-sisters, Baela and Rhaena Targaryen, Prince Daemon's twin daughters by his first wife, Lady Lyanna Velaryon. The girls were now 16 years of age, tall and slim and silver-haired, and now the darlings of the city. King Aegon seldom set foot outside the Red Keep after his coronation, and his little queen, Jaehaera, never left their own apartments. So, for most of the past year, it had been Rhaena and Baela riding out to hunt or hawk, giving alms to the poor, receiving envoys and visiting lords with the king's hand, serving as hostesses at feasts, of which there were few, masquerades and balls of which they had none as yet. The twins were the only Targaryens the people ever saw, mostly as there were so few senior Targaryens left after the Dance of the Dragon killed so many. Yet here the council encountered a difficulty and division. When Lewin Corbray said Lady Rhaena would make a splendid queen, Sir Tyland rightly pointed out that Baela had been first from her mother's womb. Baela is too wild, countered Torrhen Manderly. How can she rule the realm when she cannot rule herself? Sir Willis Fell fully agreed. It must be Rhaena. She has a dragon. Her sister, not. When Lord Corbray answered, Baela flew a dragon. Rhaena only has a hatchling. Ronald Westerling replied, Baela's dragon brought down our late king. There are many in the realm who would not have forgotten that. Crown her, and we will rip all our old wounds open again, and civil war will surely occur. Yet, it was Grand Maester Munkkin who put an end to the debate when he said, My lords, it makes no matter, they are both girls. Have we learned so little from the slaughter? We must abide by primogeniture, as the Great Council ruled in 101 AC. The male claim comes before the female. Yet, when Sir Tyland said, And who is this male claimant, my lord? We seem to have killed them all. Munkkin had no answer, but to say he would research the issue. Thus, the critical question of succession would remain unsettled.